What's the wildest wrong place, wrong time situation you've accidentally walked into? Alright, so this happened when I was 19, and to this day I still have no clue how I wasn't either arrested, stabbed, or launched into some witness protection program. I had just gotten off a late shift from my absolutely soul-destroying supermarket job, and I was starving, like stomach eating itself hungry. There was this cheap 24/7 corner store near my bus stop that always smelled like a mix of cigarettes, pickles, and despair, but it had microwavable burritos for $1, so I didn't care. So I walk in, tired, hoodie up, headphones in, just wanting food. I barely register that the store is way too quiet for 1 a.m. on a Friday. Usually there's at least one drunk dude yelling at the cashier about lottery tickets or a college kid laughing at his own jokes. But nope, silence. I pull off my headphones, and that's when I hear it. This low, tense voice saying, "Put it in the bag, all of it." My idiot, sleep-deprived brain thought, "Oh cool, someone's doing a return or something." I turn the corner and fully lock eyes with a dude wearing a ski mask pointing a gun at the cashier, like straight-up Hollywood-level robbery, except both guys looked like they were on their lunch break from hell. The cashier freezes, robber freezes, I freeze, and then because I panic when I shouldn't panic, I blurt out, is this gonna take long? I just need a burrito." The robber literally stares at me like I just walked into his therapy session and asked for directions. The cashier looks like he wants to strangle me. I don't know why, but I instinctively raise both my hands like I'm in a Western movie and back up slowly. But I trip on a box of old soda bottles and fall backward into an entire rack of chips. Bags explode everywhere. I swear you could hear the crunch of shame echo through the whole store. The robber yells, "Stay down!" And I'm like, "Oh, trust me, I'm good here." While surrounded by nacho cheese chips, like a human Dorito offering, the guy grabs some cash, yells something about, "You didn't see anything," and sprints out the door like a dramatic NPC in a video game. The moment he leaves, the cashier and I make eye contact again, both covered in fluorescent snack dust, and he just goes, "Dude, what the hell?" I help him pick up the chips because guilt plus adrenaline equals free labor. Cops come like 10 minutes later and ask me for a description, and all I can give them is, mask and jeans, which doesn't help anyone, including myself. They asked why I walked in, and I had to confess that I was just trying to buy a burrito and got stuck in a live-action GTA cutscene. The worst part. As they're taking statements, one of the officers looks at me and asks dead serious, "So, did you still want the burrito?" And I did. I absolutely did. But I was way too embarrassed to say yes. So I just shook my head, like I was traumatized beyond the ability to chew. To this day, every time I walk into a quiet store, my brain replays the moment I stared at a dude mid-robbery and basically asked him to hurry up. My friends call it my Nacho Jesus moment because I felt like I was sacrificing myself to the chip gods. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong snack aisle. I'm convinced the universe just wanted to humble me. Okay, so this happened like 4 years ago, and I swear it rewired my fight-or-flight response forever. I was working in this massive office building downtown, the kind with like 12 identical elevators because the architects hated people. One morning, I was running super late because my bus driver decided that stopping at every single red light was a personality trait. So I sprint into the lobby, mash an elevator button, and jump into the first one that opens. Immediately, I know something is off. There's this heavy chemical smell in the air, like bleach mixed with sadness, and inside are 3 giant dudes in hazmat suits. Like full body, scary, we contain outbreaks for a living suits. They all stare at me at the exact same time, and one goes, "You're not supposed to be in here." My brain? Not helpful. I just say, "Sorry, is this going up?" Like the problem is I picked the wrong floor instead of the wrong possible apocalypse scenario. One of the hazmat guys literally holds out his hand like a crossing guard and says, "Please step out immediately." But before I can move, the doors close behind me and the elevator starts going up. So now I'm trapped in a metal box with 3 Chernobyl cosplayers who look very stressed. I panic laugh. They do not laugh. The tallest one sighs and goes, "Okay, don't touch anything," which is not something you ever want to hear in a small room with hazmat suits. I flatten myself into the corner like a terrified IKEA sticker character. One guy is holding a metal case with biohazard symbols all over it, and it's literally vibrating like something inside is trying to escape. Another guy keeps checking some device that keeps beeping like a dying microwave. I'm convinced I'm about to become patient zero in a Netflix documentary. The elevator stops at the 10th floor, but the doors don't open. The lights flicker. One of the hazmat guys mutters, "Not now, man," like he's arguing with a ghost. The beeping gets louder. Another guy smacks the side of his device like it owes him money. I genuinely consider passing out just so I don't have to process any of this. Finally, the elevator lurches, goes up 2 more floors, and the doors burst open to this hallway full of more hazmat people, actual security officers, and some guy in a suit yelling into a walkie-talkie. When they see me, the random dude in jeans and a hoodie, the whole hallway collectively screams, "Why is there a civilian in there?" I step out, hands up, and squeak, "I was late?" Like that explains anything. A woman in a suit rushes over and escorts me out like I'm radioactive, and she tells me very calmly that the team was transporting sensitive biological materials, which is corporate speak for stuff you absolutely should not be breathing. They take my info, check me for exposure, which I guess I passed, and then tell me to have a good day, which is the most insane sentence anyone has ever said to me. I go back to my floor, sit at my desk, and stare into the void for like 20 minutes before my boss asks if I'm okay. I just say, "I took the wrong elevator," and he nods like that's a normal traumatic event. To this day, I take the stairs, all 12 floors. Because once you accidentally become part of a biohazard escort mission, you don't risk elevators anymore. Ever. So this happened about 2 years ago, and I still can't talk about it without feeling my soul physically curl up like a dying spider. I was on my way to my cousin's birthday barbecue, and she lives in this weird suburb where every road looks like it was copy-pasted 5 times. I'm driving around completely lost. Google Maps is glitching like it's drunk, and I keep taking wrong turns into cul-de-sacs full of identical beige houses. At some point, I turn onto this narrow street where everyone is driving super slow, like painfully slow. I think, okay, maybe school zone, because I'm an optimist and also an idiot. So I just merge into the line of cars because, hey, maybe this is the right street this time. Then I start noticing things. Every car has its headlights on. Every person is dressed in black. Nobody is talking. Everyone looks sad. And it hits me slowly, like a loading bar of dread. I have somehow joined a funeral procession. I panic immediately because I don't know the rules. Do I leave? Do I stay? Is it ruder to peel off or to continue? I'm basically tailgating grief at this point, and I can't back out because there are cars behind me and next to me. I'm trapped in a sadness conga line. Then it gets worse. We pull up to a cemetery. I'm literally sweating. My cousin's party is supposed to have hot dogs and beer pong, and instead I'm about to see someone get buried because Google Maps abandoned me. Cars start parking in neat, respectful rows. I have no option but to follow because I'd look like a monster if I bailed at the gates. So I park, I step out. I'm wearing bright red Nike shorts and a t-shirt that says Grill Daddy because I thought it'd be funny. Everyone else looks like they lost the will to live. People start gathering around the hearse and I'm standing off to the side trying to look like a shadow. And then, because the universe loves humiliating me, this older woman shuffles over, grabs my hand, and whispers, "He always liked seeing young people here. Thank you for coming." I freeze. I don't know who he is. I don't know why I'm holding this sweet grieving woman's hand. I don't know why life is like this. I mumble he seemed great, which somehow makes it worse because she starts crying harder and hugs me. I just let it happen because leaving my body seemed like the only option at that point. Finally, after what feels like 47 years, they begin the actual ceremony. This is when I decide to escape. I tiptoe backward like a cartoon burglar, get into my car, and drive away at like 4 mph. Because I don't want to speed away from a burial like a psychopath. My cousin calls me asking where I am. I just say, I accidentally attended a funeral. And she goes, again, which is a whole other story. I'm not emotionally ready to unpack. To this day, whenever my GPS glitches, I pull over and breathe deeply, because one wrong turn, and suddenly you're mourning a stranger named Harold in a cemetery while wearing barbecue shorts. So this happened during my freshman year of college, back when I still believed showing up early to things made me a responsible adult. My best friend Jenna asked me to meet her at this little coffee shop near campus because she wanted to study together for midterms. Cool, normal, safe. I get there 20 minutes early because I had nothing better to do, and their chocolate chip muffins hit like emotional support animals. I walk inside, order my muffin, sit at a table by the window, and start scrolling through my phone. Then I hear this sharp, angry whisper behind me. So that's it? You're really doing this now? I assume it's someone talking on the phone because people in college love dramatic phone calls. But nope. I turn around and it's this couple sitting right behind me, and the girl looks like she is about to emotionally set the place on fire. I try to mind my business, but within like 30 seconds it becomes very clear I accidentally sat down right as these two were breaking up. Not a small breakup either. A Category 5 emotional hurricane. The girl is crying, the guy looks guilty, the barista looks like she wants to fake a power outage, and I'm just trying to quietly eat my muffin like it isn't the most awkward pastry of my life. Then the worst thing happens. They notice me. The girl snaps, "Do you mind?" And I swear I almost apologize to the air molecules. I start scooting my chair away to leave, but the guy goes, "No, he can stay. Maybe he'll help you realize how ridiculous you're being." Suddenly, they're both looking at me like I'm Judge Judy, and this is a pre-trial hearing. I want nothing to do with it, but my body betrays me. I freeze. The girl goes, "Okay, dude, sitting alone, answer this. If someone texts their ex at 1 a.m., is that cheating?" I literally choke on a muffin crumb. I'm like, "I really don't think," but she cuts me off, "Just answer it." So now I'm being interrogated by strangers over a relationship I didn't even know existed until 90 seconds ago. I give the softest answer ever, like, I guess it depends on the context, which somehow makes both of them mad. The guy scoffs. The girl looks validated. The barista ducks behind the counter like someone fired shots. Then they start arguing, again this time, including me like I'm their couple's therapist. They forgot to pay. Tell her flirting isn't cheating. Tell him emotional intimacy is cheating. Tell her she's paranoid. Tell him he's a manipulator. I'm sweating so much it looks like I ran to the cafe. And then, because life always escalates, the guy asks me to read their text thread to prove he did nothing wrong. Before I can say no, he literally hands me his phone. I'm holding this stranger's unlocked phone, seeing messages like, "Hey, can't sleep, miss talking to you." And I'm like, "Bro, this is cheating in at least 5 dimensions." The girl sees my face and instantly breaks down crying. The guy freaks out and snatches his phone back. Customers are staring. The barista is pretending to reorganize straws. I'm deeply considering evaporating out of existence. Finally, Jenna arrives and sees me sitting between 2 adults screaming at each other. She goes, "What the hell are you doing?" And I go, "I don't know." I grab my bag and literally speed walk out, leaving half my muffin behind like an emotional casualty. Sometimes I still think about those two. Not because I care what happened to them, but because I now sit with my back to the wall in every public place, just in case I get drafted into another breakup without warning. So this happened about 3 summers ago, back when I still thought late night walks were peaceful instead of potential horror movie openings. It was hot as hell inside my apartment. My AC was basically a decorative box, and my neighbors were arguing about something stupid again. I think they were fighting over who stole whose Tupperware. So I grabbed my headphones and decided to take a slow walk around the block to cool off. It was around midnight, but my neighborhood is usually pretty chillsome. Porch lights, maybe a raccoon, doing raccoon things. Nothing major. Except this time when I stepped outside, I noticed a police helicopter circling in the distance. Annoying, but not my business. I just assumed someone did something dumb. I put on my music and started walking like everything was normal. About 2 minutes in, I noticed someone's backyard gate wide open. Weird, but I mind my business. Then I see two people standing behind a shed whispering. Also weird, but again, I'm minding my business. Then I start hearing dogs barking in the distance, like multiple dogs, and they sound excited. Not normal barking, but the "we found something" kind. I turn down another street and bam, there's a cop walking right toward me with a flashlight the size of a small battleship. He shines it right in my face and yells, "Stay where you are." I freeze so hard, I basically become a lawn ornament. I pull off my headphones and stutter something brilliant like, "A walk." Because that's all I was doing? The officer asks me what I'm doing outside, and I'm like, "Sir, it's hot." Truly a compelling alibi before he can respond. Two more officers jog up behind him, and now it looks like I'm the final boss of some cop-themed video game. One of them asks if I saw a man in a red hoodie running, which I did not, because I was too busy vibing with my music and minding absolutely no one's business. I tell them no, they're skeptical. I look like a sweaty, confused suspect. One of them asks if they can check my bag, which is literally empty except for my keys and a half-melted chocolate bar. They check it anyway. The officer actually laughs and says, "Man, this isn't going to survive the night," talking about the chocolate. Meanwhile, I'm about to have a heart attack. Suddenly the radio crackles and someone says, "K9 has a trail heading north," and every officer around me sprints away like I'm invisible. The flashlight guy turns back and says, "Get home now." And then he's gone. They vanish down the street like they're chasing a ghost. I'm standing alone in the dark like I just got rejected from being a criminal. So I start walking back home trying to not freak out. But as I get near my building, a giant German Shepherd and its handler run right past me. The dog sniffs the air around me and then just keeps running, which I don't know whether to be insulted or relieved by. When I get back to my apartment, my neighbor is outside smoking and goes, "Yo, you picked the wrong night to go outside. Some guy robbed a house and vanished whole blocks in lockdown." I just nod like I wasn't almost interrogated by 3 cops who thought I was Red Hoodie Man. And the worst part. The helicopter stayed circling for another hour. I didn't sleep, my AC died completely, and I kept imagining the real suspect crouched in someone's bushes like a raccoon with bigger problems. To this day, I only take late-night walks on weekdays. Because criminals apparently prefer weekends. Okay, so this happened when I was like 19, working as a part-time delivery guy for a local pharmacy, basically just dropping off meds to people who couldn't drive or didn't want to leave their homes. Most days were boring, except for that day, the day that made me rethink ever stepping into a stranger's house again. I got an order for a house on the far end of town, one of those old brick homes that look haunted even when it's sunny, but whatever, I had like 3 more stops, so I just wanted to get through it. I knock, no answer. The door is cracked open though, and sometimes old people forget to close it, so I call out a "Hello, delivery service." Nothing. I step inside just a little only because I've done this before, and it's always some elderly person with their TV too loud, except this time it's silent, dead silent in a way that makes your ears pressure up. I hear something downstairs like shuffling. I swear I thought it was the customer, so I keep calling out. No response. I start heading down the basement stairs because the light is on and I swear I hear someone moving around. My dumb 19-year-old brain is like, maybe they fell. So down I go. Halfway down, I see legs, 2 pairs, one standing, one lying on the ground. The standing guy is rummaging through drawers. The guy on the floor isn't moving at all. I freeze. The standing guy turns around and the look on his face told me immediately I was not supposed to be there. He goes, "Who the hell are you?" and starts stepping toward me. I don't think I've ever run faster in my life. Up the stairs tripped, slammed into the door, sprinted down the street. I dropped the bag of meds without even realizing. Called 911 from behind a dumpster because I was shaking so bad. Turns out the house was being robbed and the homeowner had tried to stop them and got knocked unconscious. They caught the guy later, but the officer straight up told me, "You walked in like 3 minutes after the attack." Which means if I had been a little earlier, I probably would have been included in the unconscious people in the basement collection. I never delivered another order that week. And to this day, if I see a door slightly open, I nope out immediately. I am not built for horror movie entry scenes. So this was during college freshman year, when I thought I was invincible and nothing bad ever happens in my part of town. It was 11 p.m., I was starving, and the local taco spot had this backdoor shortcut that students used all the time. Basically an alley that led right to the counter. The front line was always packed, so the back door was like a cheat code. Except this particular night, something was very different. I turned into the alley and immediately noticed two things. No other students. 3 large dudes standing near the door, not saying anything. But because I was dumb and hungry, I assumed they were waiting too. So I just walk right past them, give this awkward, "Hey, excuse me," and push the door open. And bam, I enter a room that is absolutely not the taco place's kitchen. It's just one giant dim room with men sitting around a table, cash stacked on it, bags of something, and everyone turns their head at the exact same time like a horror movie. I literally froze mid-step. One guy at the table goes, "Who's he?" And I swear I could hear my heartbeat in my eyelids. Another guy near the wall tilts his head and says, "He ain't one of us. Check him. Check him. Bro, my soul." Left the building. Before anyone grabbed me, I blurted out the stupidest line ever spoken by a human being. "Usai was just trying to get tacos." The room goes silent for a full 2 seconds. Then one dude, the one who looked like the leader or something, bursts out laughing. Full belly laugh. He waves his hand and says, "Let the kid go. Use the front door next time." I have never said "yes, sir" faster. They actually opened the back door for me, and one of the guys escorted me out like I was some confused lost child. He even said, "Food's good though. Enjoy." Like, bro, thank you so much for not murdering me over chicken tacos. I walked straight to my dorm shaking like I'd been through war. My roommate asked what happened, and all I said was, "The back door is cursed. Never use it again." To this day, I stick to drive-thrus only. This one still haunts me, and it wasn't even dangerous. It was just extremely scarring on multiple emotional levels. So last year, I went to a wedding and stayed at a hotel where all the rooms looked exactly the same. Same carpets, same walls, same stupid gold-framed art paintings. My room was 417. I go out with some friends, come back a little tipsy, and confidently walk to what I swear is my room. The keycard works. That was mistake number 1. Later, I found out multiple rooms had glitchy locks that opened for more than one card. I walk inside, lights are off. I assume my cousin, my roommate for the weekend, is sleeping. I'm being quiet, trying to sneak in like a ninja. Then I hear whispering. Not just whispering and giggling. I freeze, I whisper, "Bro," and immediately I hear a very feminine, "Who the hell is that?" Then I hear a man's voice go, "Wait, what?" It's someone turns on a lamp, and I am staring at a half-naked couple who are definitely not my cousin. I scream. They scream. Everyone screams. I try to leave, but the stupid handle jams, so I'm yanking it like an idiot while apologizing loudly. The guy starts yelling, "Why are you in our room?" And the girl is covering herself with a pillow, screaming at him like it's his fault. The door finally opens, and I bolt out, tripping into the hallway wall. 3 people come out of nearby rooms because of all the screaming. I am bright red, sweating like I ran a marathon and trying to explain between gasps, "Wrong room card, broken lock." I run down the hall and try my actual room again. This time it doesn't work because obviously it's not the same door I had walked through earlier, so I'm just standing there like a moron until security shows up. I explain it again, still out of breath, and the guard just goes, "Yeah, that happens sometimes. You're not the first. Not the first." How many poor souls before me walked in on strangers mid-romance session? They reset my card, apologized, barely, and I spent the rest of the night hiding under my blanket like the world's most traumatized burrito. At breakfast the next morning, I avoided eye contact with literally everyone because I had no idea who I saw half naked the night before, never trusting hotel keycards again. Alright, this might be the dumbest thing I've ever done, but it definitely counts as the biggest wrong place, wrong time moment of my entire life. So a couple of years ago, I was driving home from this small get-together with friends. It was late, around 1 a.m., and the highway was basically empty except for a few scattered cars. My friend Jake had left 5 minutes before me, and since he lived near my neighborhood, I figured I'd probably catch up to him and just follow him home like we've done 100 times. So I see a silver Honda ahead of Misami model, same dents on the bumper, same weird Batman sticker Jake had. I think, cool, that's him, and I settle in behind the car. The highway exit, the left turn, the street. Everything matches the route to Jake's house. Except after like 10 minutes, something feels off. Jake never takes that long route around the industrial area. He always takes the shortcut by the gas station. But my tired brain goes, maybe he just wanted to avoid the drunk drivers. I keep following. We turn into this warehouse district, quiet as hell and empty except for flickering lamps and graffiti. At that point, I'm like, okay, maybe he's lost. Maybe his GPS is glitching. But then the car signals into this sketchy-looking fenced parking lot behind a storage building. I hesitate, but I'm already deep in. And turning back now would make it completely obvious I was following them, so I stupidly keep rolling forward. The silver Honda stops. Two guys get out. Neither of them is Jake. One of them has a shaved head and tattoos covering his entire neck, the kind of tattoos that look like they were done in a basement somewhere. They both stare directly at my car, the way a wolf looks at a wounded deer. One guy cups his hands around his mouth and yells, "Yo, why you following us?" My whole soul left my body in that moment. I scramble to put the car in reverse, but the lot is so narrow, I end up doing this awkward 10-point turn like a panicked toddler driving a bumper car. The two guys start walking toward me, not running, but that kind of slow, confident walk that's somehow 10x scarier. I finally back out the gate, almost hit the fence, and peel off so hard my tires scream. I don't even check if they're behind me. I'm too busy praying. I didn't just get myself targeted. I drive straight to a gas station with bright lights, park under the biggest lamp like a moth clinging to survival, and just sit there shaking like a blender. I check my phone. Jake texts me, "Bro, where you at? I took the shortcut home already." I literally stared at that message for a solid minute in pure silence. Turns out the car I followed had the same sticker, same car model, same damn dent, but the wrong people entirely, and probably the worst people to follow behind into a secluded parking lot at 1 a.m. I still think about how easily that could have gone way worse. Now, I don't follow anyone. I don't care if it's my mom's car with her name on the license plate. I'm going my own way home. Never again. So this happened about 4 years ago, and to this day, it's still the one memory that gives me that full-body shiver when I think about how easily things could have gone wrong. I was helping my buddy move into his new apartment building, one of those old brick complexes from the 70s, with confusing hallways, half-burned-out lights, and doors that all look the same even when they're definitely not. At one point, he handed me the wrong set of keys and told me to go grab a dolly from the storage room down the hall. Simple enough, right? I walk down this long hallway that gets progressively darker the further you go, which should have been my first clue that I'd taken a wrong turn. I find a door that looks storage-ish, insert the key, it clicks, and I walk inside expecting to see old bikes and cardboard boxes. Instead, I'm greeted with a weird damp smell and a staircase leading down. Not ideal, but I think maybe the storage is in the basement. Halfway down, I hear voices. Not like casual voices, whispering, intense whispering. I should have turned around right then, but my dumb curiosity said, "No, keep going, maybe it's maintenance." I reach the bottom and step into this dimly lit basement room that looks nothing like an apartment storage area. There are folding chairs arranged in a circle, candles everywhere, and a whiteboard with diagrams that make zero sense. Circles line something that looked like a star, and writing in huge permanent marker like "The Merging" and "Phase 3. I literally thought I'd walked into a cult meeting before I can even process anything. One of the whispering voices stops, followed by complete silence. Then I hear, "Someone's here." My blood froze. I try to quietly back up the stairs, but the old wood creaks like a damn horror movie sound effect. I hear footsteps, fast ones. Not running, but fast enough to tell me I shouldn't be there. I sprint up the stairs and practically launch myself out the door, slamming it behind me. I don't even check if it locked. I just run back to the apartment as fast as my lungs let me. I burst in like I just saw a demon, and my friend looks at me like I'm crazy. I tell him what I saw and he's like, "Dude, that's the old maintenance basement, nobody uses it." I insisted he take me back to show him, because there was no way I imagined that. We go back, I'm sweating, heart racing. He tries his keys. And door won't open. He tries all of them. Nothing, I swear on everything, that door opened for me earlier. When he asked the landlord about it days later, the guy gets super weird and just says, "Tenants aren't allowed in old sections of the building," and walks away. No explanation, no details. To this day, I have no clue what meeting I walked in. On cult, weird tenant club, paranormal, LARPing, illegal poker night, who knows? I just know that door should have been locked. Those people definitely weren't supposed to be there. And I absolutely should not have been there either. I've never run that fast in my life. Honestly, I don't think I've ever closed a door so hard either.